over here and overwhelm me. You write checks that my ass can't cash. I've been a little.
Hey babe, so I'm back with How to Hustle Part 3 for dances as a stripper. But to start it off, I just wanted to go over what I went over. I don't know if it was in Part 1 or Part 2, but for stage money, I went over, like, after your stage set is a key moment to ask for dances, because you know, you have the ability to read off of the customers that just like tipped at your stage set to see who's really interested, who is engaged with you. So it's a really easy moment to get dances because you already know who's interested. So to like re-go over that, definitely make sure you're asking for dances after your stage set. I personally, I don't know if you've watched any of my vlogs, I personally can't do this because I'm a sweater. Unless it's a guy that, like, I know that's really been into my sweat, like, I won't even consider asking him. I'd be like, oh, well, unless they bring it up, then I'll literally be like, oh, give me a second, and I'll be right back. I just have to go back and dry off. But other than that, I go out back, dry off, and then go back, but it's just kind of annoying because most of the time, like, another girl's on stage, and, like, the guys that were already interested in me we're still sitting there, so, like, to disrespect her by going to her stage set, like, we just don't do that at Zach's, which is getting into, like, my next point, stripper etiquette. Like, we have, like, serious stripper etiquette at Zach's. Like, nobody, like, really goes up to someone else's stage set and, like, pulls customers off it, unless it was, like, already a conversation between them on their last set, and, like I said previous, like, they went out back, fixed themselves up and came back. Like, that's a totally different story, but nobody makes their rounds to ask for dances while someone else is on stage, unless it's the customers, like, on the, like, the walls or, like, on the bar not paying attention to the stage. Like, we try to be courteous about that. If you don't want to, like, spark any flames or, like, ruffle any feathers, definitely try to, like, abide by that, or, like, go in between sets. Or just stick to guys that are at the stage. That'll leave you, like, as a safe bet. But starting off, I really wanted to say that there's no magic line that's just going to get you to get every single guy in the club to do a dance with you. Basically, every single guy is different, like, every single girl is different, and it's a lot of reading them and reading their personalities and what they want from you to figure out if you're going to get that dance. Going into that, so I can't give you a magic line. That's not what this video is going to be about. That's not going to be how, I don't know. I don't even think anyone can give you that advice, because it honestly might not work. It might work on a few, but it won't work on everybody. But I can tell you that stripping is a lot of reading customers, and there are 3 types of customers in a strip club when reading for dances. There's the one that just doesn't waste any time. He's right to the point. He comes in ready, willing, and able to get a dance, and he specifically knows what he wants. Like, and he's not gonna really, like, fray out of that. He's the type that literally you want to go up to right after your stage set and just ask for a dance, or like I said, in between sets and ask for a dance. And if you fall into his type, he's going to say yes. No questions asked. If you don't fall into his type, he's not going to say yes. No questions asked. That is just the first type of guy. And you're, like, the easiest bet. If you're like me, like, I don't like the conversations with guys. I really like the guys who just get a dance and go. Then you're going to like this number 1 guy, because he's that guy. He's make your rounds, and he's always going to say yes to getting a dance. With the second one, he is the get to know you. So a lot of people like, walk away from guys that say, oh, like, when you ask them for a dance and they say, oh, no, not right now, but do you want a drink? Those guys aren't technically, yes, they're saying no to the dance right now, but they're not saying no to the dance in general. Those guys usually want to get to know you better. They don't want to just rush in and just throw their money anywhere. They actually want to get to know the person they're giving their money to. And I've actually found a lot of guys, like, come back to me and say, like, there's some girls that literally make their rounds every single set, like, well, every in between set. And they're like, oh my god, I wish they would actually sit down and talk to me. So there's like some guys that actually would just prefer the conversation and then pay for the dance. And you have to pick and choose what you're comfortable with. I prefer the first guy, but I don't mind the second guy when it's the guy that leads the conversation, because I personally don't care to sit there and try to lead a conversation with a grown-ass man, because half the time it's old men and it just doesn't work. But if it's like an old man that like talks about like whatever he wants to talk about, and I can just like, oh yeah, ha ha ha, join in, like, I'm totally fine with that. But I like someone that leads the conversation. So usually I can tell if he's gonna lead the conversation or not, and if he's not, then I usually like walk away from that one. But that's always a potential dance. That's not someone trying to waste your time. There are guys in that category that do try to waste your time, but a lot of them are just trying to get to know you. And I feel like with the conversation guys, they actually spend more money because they're getting to know you. They have that personal connection with you. Well, they feel they have that personal connection with you. So I found that a lot of guys that I've sitting down and talked with actually have spent a lot more money than guys that I've asked for dances and they've done like one or two. But the guys that I've conversated with, and it's just like kind of, what is it, like getting clientele or having a customer having a regular, for some reason that fucking wouldn't come to my mind. Like, it's like having a regular, like, because they know you or think they know you on a personal level, they want to spend more money on you. I'm trying to think of like a specific example of lately. Oh, okay, so one, like, randomly, I don't tell anyone like about my like candles and soaps that I do that like outside of like in real life. In the strip club, like, I don't really tell anyone that. In real life I talk about it, but inside the strip club, that's like me time. Like, I don't really talk about it. And I happen to bring it up to one guy, and that's how I end up catching like that I knew him, because I don't remember people sometimes. I'm always fucking high. And he like called me Candle Wax, and I was like, what? And he was like, you make candles, right? And I was like, holy shit. And he ended up doing like a bunch of dances that night. And I feel like like when we had the conversation about candles, he did a bunch of candles. He did a bunch of dances. So it's like getting that personal level with someone definitely creates a connection and makes them want to spend more money. So don't like knock someone that's looking to just buy you a drink, because they're just willing to buy you a drink at that moment. They might be able to buy some dances in a little bit, you know? The third guy is the guy you really just want to stay away from. You can usually, like, pick him out of the crowd early. He's usually the guy that's just sat in the corner and done nothing all day but stare. Like, tipped nothing on stage, like, done no dances, just sat there and stared. He's the wallflower of the night. You just want to avoid him because he's honestly there to waste your time. Or even with, we have some wallflowers that are regulars. So even if they're a regular and they're a wallflower, you can just still ignore them. Like, you can be polite and like be courteous. I do that actually. I'm still nice to all the regulars that come in that are wallflowers, or even if they're regulars and spend money, but it's just not particularly on me, and they still sit in the corner and like lurk. Because I've had like last Sunday, freaking, I was working and like, by the end of the night, like, no one was tipping, and I was literally just laying in the corner of the stage just waiting for my set to pass, and one of the regulars just came over that, like, really doesn't ever tip me, came over and gave me, like, $10, and I was like, oh, thanks. Like, you just have to, like, gain that rapport with people, so don't be afraid to conversate. I know I'm more introverted, so if you are more introverted like I am, definitely be willing to push outside of your comfort zone, because there's really nothing you can say to a dumb drunk guy that's... I talked about my guinea pigs to a couple niggas. Like, there's really nothing you can say that's gonna throw someone off. Like, there's really not. I've had some crazy conversations in the strip club. Crazy conversations. So, definitely sit down, have a drink, and try to get those dances. Oh, shit. I just switched it up. We're on the third one. Definitely stay away from the guy trying to waste your time. Fuck. So stay away from him, because he's just trying to waste your time. Hopefully I didn't, like, get off topic that whole time. Leave in the comments if I did. Because that was a pie moment. But, other things you can. So I had a customer. He goes, "I'm so happy you decided to ask me for a dance." Blah blah blah, and went on this whole tangent. And like, morals of the story, he was just like saying he worked in sales, and like to make a sale, the average sale is made within like 3 tries or like 5 tries. So he was like, don't knock like your first attempt at going around, like making your rounds around asking customers. Don't be afraid to go back to the same ones and ask them again, because you don't know if they just didn't have enough alcohol in their system, if they were just walking in the door. You don't know what they were going through. Well, you don't know what was going through in their mind when you asked them for that initial dance. So try again. Try with like a different tactic. If you didn't offer to sit down and talk the first time, maybe offer to sit down and talk with them this time, get to know them a little bit more, and then proceed to ask them for another dance. I'm also, like, jokingly, I always go like, ha ha ha, you want a little chocolate, or you're, like, you don't have a sweet tooth tonight, or something, like, jokingly like that, to sort of, like, trigger, like, ooh, like, maybe I'm in the mood for, like, a dance from a black chick. Like, I don't know, just figure out what, like, it depends on your personality, because I do it, like, jokingly, and it, like, works, but, like, I know girls that I work with that are more serious, and I, like, couldn't even see them saying something like that. I'd be like, holy shit. Okay. So it just like depends on your personality and how you, if you're kind of like sarcastic, make something sarcastic, like, oh, is it me? Like something that plays with your personality and the character you play in the strip club. But I think that's about it. Hopefully that helped you guys out. I don't know if I mentioned this in the first one, but this is like going to be the end of my how-to series for the How to Hustle. There's really nothing else that needs to be said. But if you guys have any more questions, definitely leave it in the comments below. And if I find that there are a bunch of like crazy questions that need to be answered, then I'll definitely do another video on it. I just don't know what to specifically talk about on it. Unless I get some questions. But yes, other than that, thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Bye guys.